Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah. Renegade.
Ready?
Renegade, yes.
Hi, I'm Andy.
And I'm Alex, and we are
Primed!
So we are very good friends, and we started Primed because we want everyone to love painting as much as we do.
Yeah, so I will be the one walking you through the painting video today, but you can feel free to do your own thing or follow me exactly. It's up to you. I just want you to love what you make and have fun.
And we really want to see what you make, so when you're done, make sure you post your final painting on Instagram and use the hashtag #PrimedPaintings and tag us at Primed Fine Arts so we can see what you make.
Happy painting!
All right, welcome to our potted plant video. First step is going to be to read through all the materials that we've provided you. Hopefully you've already done that. And the second step is to set up our paint palette. So I like to set it up so that I have a color, skip a space, and then my next color. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm picking up my big brush and I'm going to paint the pot and the table. I'm going to mix a light brown using the brown and white to make a medium brown, and I'm going to make a pot shape. This looks like a cup, so kind of make a C and then put an oval on the top of the C so that you have a very simple pot. I'm going to take some of this light brown and start painting the table. So the cup itself, the pot itself, I am keeping white, and I'm just going to paint everything around it this light brown color. So we'll have a nice brown table to work from. All right, I'm now going to add a shadow to our cup so that it looks like it's resting on the table. I'm just going to take some dark brown and paint a shadow, starting about halfway around the cup and making a semicircular shape. I'm also going to add some of this brown color to my cup to make dirt. And I'm going to clean off my brush. All right, I'm going to mix pink by doing, I guess, about equal parts red and white. And I'm going to not worry about mixing them too well, but I'm just going to apply directly to my canvas. And if your paint feels a little thick, like it's hard to spread, feel free to water it down. You don't want necessarily very thick application for this background. You just want it to be coated nice and evenly and pink. All right, my background's finished. I'm also going to, while I have the pink mixed, I'm going to add a pink stripe to my table, and this is really just to incorporate some of the pink to the lower part of the canvas. It just breaks up some of the brown and adds a little bit of interest. I'm now going to take my little brush and I'm going to pick up some of the green and I'm going to draw some stems. You don't need to mix this color, just take it as it is right now and we'll layer on top of it. And I'm going to draw just 4 or 5 stems coming out. You can draw as many as you'd like though. Make sure that they're spaced out evenly so that you can add leaves to them. And if your paint is still a little bit wet, you can always reapply or wait a few minutes for it to dry. Going back to my big brush, I'm going to take some of the straight green color again, and I'm just going to be drawing leaf shapes. There's a lot of freedom here. There are no wrong leaves. Leaves are different, but the classic shape kind of has a fat bottom and then tapers off towards the top. You can feel free to copy my shapes exactly or create your own. All right, so I have my 4 basic leaves. I'm going to add some in the middle to make it look more natural. Leaves aren't always as perfect as this picture. So I'm going to make my plant look a little fuller by adding a couple of extra. All right, I'm going to go back into the background with my little brush. I'm going to take the pink color I had and mix a little bit of yellow and a little bit of white so that I have a nice kind of peachy color. It's not that different than the background pink that I have, which is key because you don't want this to be a very high contrast element in your design. So mine obviously was a little too close, so I added a little bit of white to lighten it up. And now you can see it. I'm going to be making teardrop shapes, and I'm just going to be applying them in equal increments. I'm not worried about them being totally perfect, but I am trying to space them out evenly. And I'm not necessarily filling them in. I'm leaving them as a line, but you can paint yours if you want to. That's all right. It will look good either way. All right, and I'm going to speed it up because you get the idea. Okay, so we've got our funky little background. I'm going to go ahead and clean off my little brush, and I'm going to paint my pot yellow. You can use your big brush for this. I'm going to mix a buttery yellow using white, and I'm going to apply the white on the left side and then allow it to become more yellow as it goes across, so it looks like there's a dark side and a light side hitting it. Don't worry if you don't do this step perfectly. It's all right if you just want to paint it flat yellow too. And make sure you paint the back of the cup as well. All right, keeping that same yellow, I'm just picking up my little brush and I'm mixing a decently bright yellow with yellow and white, and I'm going to be going in and highlighting one edge of the leaf. So I'm just going around one side, not both sides of the leaf. And this is just going to give it a nice highlight. Now see, my green paint is still very wet, so it's turning a lime green, but that's okay. Just try to make it as bright as you can. It's good to have a little mixing. Keeping my small brush, I'm just going to clean it off real quick. I'm going to be grabbing some white and adding some little details. So I'm going to take some white and I'm just going to add 3 little tick marks in different sections of the leaves. This is just for interest and a little bit of exoticness, maybe. Is exoticness a word? Exoticness? It's just going to add a little bit of interest. All right, keeping with my small brush, I washed it once again, and I'm mixing my brown and my green to make a very, very dark green. I'm gonna use this and go through the stems, making more of a grounding stem, making it darker so that it has weight to it. And I'm just gonna pull this through the middle of the leaves. This step really makes your plant pop. It makes it look more 3D. And again, your paint might be very wet still from your painting your green leaves to begin with. So keep mixing. If it looks like it's getting light, keep darkening it up with the brown and just make it as dark as you can. And then you can kind of blend it into the soil of the pot. All right, you're then going to mix a little bit of bright green. I would say equal parts yellow and green, and maybe adding a little bit more yellow if you want to brighten it up even more. And we're just going to go in and add a little bit of this really pretty color to the other side of the leaves that don't have the yellow highlight. And this is again to give dimension, to give depth. Leaves aren't flat, they're curved, so they have light sides and dark sides. And we're trying to imitate that. Once you've done that, you can also go in and put a little design on your pot. You don't have to do this design that I'm doing. I'm just doing some little stripes. You can do whatever you want. If you prefer to do horizontal stripes or circles, polka dots, anything would be great here. And you're ready for your finishing touches. So I'm going to add a little bit of green to the base of this pot to really bring the green down to the bottom of the painting, but also to ground the pot because the dark green winds up being slightly darker than the brown. And I'm finished. I hope you enjoyed painting this potted plant. Please tag us on Instagram at Prime Fine Arts and use our hashtag Prime Paintings. We'd love to see what you make. And thank you so much for joining me today.